Hey, I'm Alex, and I was just thinking about something kind of funny. Why is it so hard to start a conversation when talking is literally something we do every day?
Hey, I'm Emma, and that is such a good question. It's like we talk all the time, but the moment we have to start a conversation from zero, everything feels different.
Exactly. Like, once the conversation is already going, it's fine. But those first few seconds,
The worst.
right? It's like your brain suddenly forgets every possible sentence.
And you become very aware of yourself.
Too aware.
You start thinking, what should I say? Is this weird? Am I interrupting?
Yes, and while you're thinking all that, the moment passes.
And then it becomes even harder to start.
It's like a small window, and if you miss it, it feels awkward to try again.
I've had that happen so many times, especially in social situations where you don't really know anyone.
Like a party?
Exactly. Or even something more casual, like a small gathering or a work event.
Those are tricky because you're there, but you don't necessarily have a reason to talk to someone specific.
Yes, and you're just standing there thinking, okay, now what?
And everyone else looks like they already belong.
That's the worst part. You feel like you're the only one who doesn't know what to do.
Even though that's probably not true.
Definitely not true. But it feels real in the moment.
I think part of the problem is overthinking.
For sure.
We put too much pressure on the first sentence.
Yes, like it has to be interesting or funny or perfect somehow.
When in reality, most conversations start with something very simple.
Exactly. Like, hi, or how do you know the host? Or what do you think of this place?
But in your head, that feels too basic.
Yeah, you think, that's boring.
But boring is actually good.
It is, because it's natural.
And it gives the other person something easy to respond to.
I think we forget that conversations are a two-way thing.
What do you mean?
Like, it's not all on you to make it amazing. The other person is also part of it.
That's a good point. We act like we're responsible for the entire interaction.
Exactly. And that pressure makes everything harder.
Have you always felt this way? Or did it change over time?
I think I used to feel it more, especially when I was younger.
Same.
I would rehearse what I wanted to say in my head, like multiple versions.
Oh, I've done that too.
And then, when the moment came, I either forgot everything or said something completely different.
That's the classic outcome.
What about you? Any awkward starting a conversation stories?
Oh, definitely. I remember once I was at an event and I decided, okay, I'm going to be more social today,
Brave decision.
right? So I walked up to someone and I said, nice weather, right?
That's not bad.
It was indoors.
Oh no.
Exactly. The person just looked at me like, what?
I mean, technically, the weather still exists.
That's what I thought. But in that moment, it felt so out of place.
What happened next?
We both kind of laughed, which helped. But yeah, not my smoothest start.
Honestly, that's kind of a good example
Of what?
of how even awkward starts can turn into something okay.
That's true. The laugh saved it.
I think that's important. Conversations don't have to start perfectly.
Yeah, they just have to start.
Exactly.
I've also noticed that it's easier when you have something in common.
Definitely. Like a shared situation.
Right, if you're both at the same event or waiting in the same place or experiencing the same thing,
You already have a topic.
and that makes it less scary.
But when there's no obvious connection, that's when it gets harder.
That's when your brain starts searching for something to say,
And usually finds nothing.
or something weird.
Very weird.
I think another factor is fear of judgment.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what if I say something stupid?
Or what if they're not interested in talking to me?
Exactly. And that fear can stop you before you even try.
But the funny thing is, most people are not judging as much as we think,
True, they're probably thinking about their own words.
or worrying about how they come across.
So everyone is a little nervous, but pretending not to be.
That's a great way to put it.
It makes the whole situation feel a bit more human.
Yeah, less like a performance.
More like just two people figuring it out together.
I like that.
Me too.
Do you think it gets easier with practice?
Definitely. The more you do it, the less scary it becomes.
Even if it's still a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think the discomfort ever fully disappears.
But it becomes manageable.
Exactly.
I've noticed that when I stop trying to be interesting, conversations actually go better,
That's interesting in itself.
right? It's like the less you try, the more natural it feels,
And people respond better to that.
because it's real.
I think authenticity matters more than saying the right thing.
Definitely.
So maybe the real reason it's hard to start a conversation is because we're trying too hard,
I think that's a big part of it.
trying to control the outcome.
When we can't really control it,
Exactly. We can only control the first step.
which is just saying something,
Even something simple.
especially something simple.
So next time you're in that situation, what would you do differently?
I'd probably just go with the first simple thing that comes to mind, without overthinking it.
That's a good strategy.
And you?
I'd remind myself that the other person is probably just as unsure as I am.
That helps a lot.
It makes it feel less one-sided.
Yeah, more like a shared moment instead of a test.
Exactly.
It's funny. Something so small can feel so big.
But once it starts, it usually becomes easier.
Always.
So maybe the hardest part is just those first few seconds.
And after that, you're already doing it.
That's kind of reassuring.
It is.
All right, I think we figured something out today.
Yeah. Or at least made it feel a bit less complicated.
That's already a win.
Definitely.
Let's leave it there.
Sounds good.
Thanks for practicing with us. Keep speaking, keep improving. See you in the next one.